Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Knowledge of what's needed than I do, and I kind of wanted you guys to just comment on what's the resolve and go from there, and what's the best possible resolve.
Hey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sure.
All right. I guess briefly, what was your fix idea?
Well, there's two ways to answer that. There's, two extremes, new doors all the way to a field, some sort of field modification.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go right ahead, sir.
Well, I was just telling him that I did that once before. I had to do that. I messed up on a door. Thankfully, it was just one door. I did get my measurement wrong on the mortise lock. I ended up laying it on its side, getting a router out, routing the hole up about 1.5 inches, because mine was off by about 1.5 inches, higher than where it was. Of course, chiseled out for the mounting brackets, and then I backfilled the bottom of the door and used we call them goof plates, but basically a modernization kit for a full mortise lock. I modified it, cut the end of it off, stuck it in the door, and gave the customer a substantial discount. They were happy because it worked, and I was happy because I didn't have to order another door. Is that what you're thinking about?
Not really, because adding any sort of extra steel to the door is going to be a clear violation of the integrity of the fire door. An inspector is going to catch that, because that piece of metal you've added is not fire rated. So the goof plates, everyone does it, but
the one I did put in, though, I don't know if you've seen them. They're usually they're a 1/8 inch thick. They are actually fire rated, but I just said modernization because that's usually a thin little piece of brass. But I'm with you. Go ahead. I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah, there is no modernization or plate. If it doesn't carry a UL stamp, it's not permissible for use on a fire door. Maybe yours has a UL label on it.
It's okay. I can't think of the brand, but if I told you, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably one of the only ones. But go ahead. Yeah. You're good. Go ahead.
So
what's your idea?
If I was going to do it in the shop, what I would end up doing is taking my template, and I would cut that 8 by 1.25 inch prep on the center line necessary, which means I'm going to be 1 inch higher on the door.
Right.
And then you've got to, obviously that 1 inch down below has got to be filled. And the code says you've got to use like material. All right, well, that's only going to be about 9 seconds thick. So there's not a lot of wood that you have to put back there. The only trick in the whole matter is if you cut that down 1 inch, that top screw, or up 1 inch, that bottom screw of the mortise lock is going to hit air. So you've got to pack that back with something. So if I was doing it in the shop, I would core that door out, and I would take a piece of Tectonite material that would be, it's used for reinforcing in fire doors. I'd pack that back down in there, and then I would recut my mortise pocket, is how I would end up doing that, because that's like material.
Right.
And then what I would do is I would probably edge tape over the edge of the entire edge of the door. I would plane it down, a 1/10 of an inch, and then I would put maple edge tape. You get edge tape that's 2 inch wide, and it goes on with an iron. The same iron that you use to, get your shirt straight. And that's how that's done. That's how I would do it in the shop setting.
Gotcha. So you're wondering, I guess the curiosity is here, do we have the means to do that on site, or are you gonna do that and then send the doors back? What's the approach on that? Are you asking if that's something we have the means and desire to do?
No, not necessarily. I'm just answering the question. If I was going to do it, that's how I would end up doing it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't personally, for me, I don't have any issues with that. But I am really, man, I'm just a rower. I've been doing this for a long time, and since it's not quote technically my project, or I didn't order these doors, I don't have my money wrapped up in them, I would, of course, try to figure out the best way to resolve the issue economically, of course, but also to the satisfaction of the end user. And so what it boils down to is I don't find that to be unreasonable. Mike, the guy that's the head of the maintenance over at this particular facility, is the one that's going to have to approve that. Do we have the means to do it? No, I mean, nothing you mentioned is something we can't get. It's just going to be a matter of if my employer is going to be willing to allow us to do that. But I see what you're saying. I got you. It's not a whole lot different than what I did on that interior door, except for it sounds like it's a little bit better, a little bit more well thought out than my on-the-fly fix. So what it boils down to is I understand completely what you're saying, how to go about it and how to approach it. Now I guess the next step is to pitch that to the end user and Randy, to my boss with Matt, and see how he stands on that as far as time goes, and then we'll go from there. But I wouldn't object to it, but we are dealing with the government, we are dealing with the VA, and I don't know where they're going to stand with that. You got me on that?
I do. Frankly, if I was in that situation, I would personally wouldn't let the doors leave my shop. I would do all the work necessary and then just go to the job site like nothing ever happened. And honestly, I wouldn't mention the fact that there was a repair done, because the work that's done is completely in accordance with what would be considered compliant with NFPA 80, so that you aren't violating anything. The trick with everything I just said is when you fill that material, and I've taken the classes, I've studied, I've passed the test. So the trick with the NFPA 80 is you have to fill it with like material. So the real problem in all of this, and you don't need the edge tape. You're not going to see a small hairline if you get a nice 1-inch piece and you glue it in and you mallet it down and it's sanded really nice. No one's going to call attention to that. This facility's got to be 60 years old. No one's going to care. No one's going to ever notice, in my opinion. The problem you're thinking is, okay, when I put that mortise case back in there, that screw's not going to hit anything. And the temptation is going to be to just pack a piece of wood in there, glue it, which ain't going to stick to the mineral core. That's where the problem is, knowing that there's a piece of wood in there. The issue is the entire lock set, the mortise case has to be steered to the edge of the door. Now, when you put the trim through the door itself, it's going to hold the mortise case. You can back that screw out. The lock case really isn't going to move. The issue is you've knowingly put dissimilar material back in there, and that would be the technical violation of NFPA 80, the fire doors and other opening protected standard. That's right. If you don't go there, then you are completely okay to do this in terms of the integrity of the door and UL and the manufacturer. But you're right. Your client, the client, it sounds like the client needs to take a participatory role in determining how to fix this.
Yeah, because he is aware of the problem. If he wasn't aware of the problem, we probably wouldn't have to worry about it. We'd just do it.
You just make it happen. Yeah.
Right, but since he is aware, then it needs to be run by him, and I'm sure with clarity, because you and I, we know what it's like out in the field. We know that there's all kinds of stuff we've had to overcome. He doesn't. For him, it's his project. It's a singularity. For us, it's like, I've had to do some shit like this before. And we overcome it. We adapt. We overcome. We conquer. However, he's going to have the final say-so. So my recommendation would be clear with him, Randy, and then talk with my boss, because the decisions are made at a higher pay grade than I am. I'm since I retired and had to come back to work, I'm pretty much low man on the totem pole. I am a rower now. So it will have to be cleared with Matt and absolutely with the BA. But I don't have any problem with everything you said. I mean, I would imagine we could go that route and get it done.
All right. So Richard, I mean, I can have that conversation with Mike, and I think that his major concern is whether it meets the code, and what I'm hearing is that it does. My only other thing is the appearance. I mean, is this something that Rick and Mark could possibly do at their facility, or should I just get the doors delivered, and then have the work done at your facility?
At my facility? Oh no, we don't have a shop. Those were the old days. Yeah, I mean we manufactured wood doors. I don't currently have people on staff that do that work. I could not personally do that work.
Yeah.
I don't have a shop is the bottom line. After 30 years, I now just I don't touch the router as much as I used to.
All right. So how would we get the supplies, the pieces that fit inside the doors?
Yeah, I'd have to call the manufacturer and ask if they'll sell us some Tectonite, some material that's approved for use in the door. I'd have to find out from them if they will.
Hey guys, I'm gonna hop off, guys, because I've got to get in. I got a customer waiting on me. But you guys resolve it and let me know, Randy. Okay?
Okay, will do. Thanks.
You bet. Bye bye.
Go ahead. Rich.
Yeah, that's what we'd need to find out. I don't know how thick the material is that they have. I don't know what the options are. I've got to ask them for that. Back when I used to purchase it, I bought it right from the manufacturer who made the material, and that was. And I don't have the ability to buy that material because I'm not manufacturing doors anymore.
All right.
So yeah, that would be it. Seeing if we can buy that material.
All right. So I mean, the photographs I sent you were along with probably 10 other photographs that I sent them to get the measurements right, so that they would know that that's the measurements we wanted, and the fact that it's off an inch. I don't know where culpability is in that. I'm just trying to get the issue resolved. So,
Sure.
I mean, what do you think they would think about replacing the doors?
So that won't go anywhere at all, because the 45-inch dimension came from my machining sheets, which came from your machining sheets. So if you look at I think it's dimension N, and somewhere in an email I've got the 16 images that were sent. I'm basically saying, I see all the images, but I can't use this to fill out machining sheets. So therefore, your machining sheets are the governing documents. And you've got 44 3/4 in most of those places, or extremely close to it. And when you have a mortise lock, you have a 1/4-inch relocation of center line from the center line of the strike on the frame. So that's where 45 comes in. And that matches identically the machining sheet. So the manufacturer, it wouldn't be on them.
Okay. It wouldn't be on them.
No, sir, it wouldn't be.
All right. So is there any way you can contact them to get the material?
Absolutely, I will. I'm gonna explain what has to be done, and I'm gonna ask them if they can supply me with the blocks necessary that can get packed back in there, so that it can be remortised and remachined. If we can get access to this material that's called Tectonite, then there's nothing preventing a field repair on the material.
Okay. All right. Let's. So you have my number, correct?
Oh yeah. No, I'll get back in touch with you. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And I'll just wait for that.
Yes, sir. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.